You ever wonder how to explore Bangkok, Thailand's mesmerizing capital, without breaking the bank? Well, we're going to show you how to turn 3 days into a trip of a lifetime. Brace yourself for mouth-watering street food, jaw-dropping temples, and hidden gems that prove that a tight budget can still deliver epic adventure. And be sure to stay until the end, where I'll share all the insider tips on where to stay and how to travel around. All right, let's go. Let's start day one of your Southeast Asia travels with a bit of Old Town exploration, with the first trip of the day heading right into the heart of Bangkok, the Grand Palace in Wat Pho, Khao. Situated in the historic center of Bangkok, this complex offers a glimpse into the country's royal heritage and spiritual traditions. Visited by millions of tourists and pilgrims each year, the site opens at 8:30 a.m. and closes at around 3:30 p.m. You'll need to purchase tickets to enter the grounds of the palace, and these will cost you about 500 baht, or $15 US. These can be purchased either at the gate or online. In purchasing online, you can pick up a multi-ticket, which gives you access to other attractions around Bangkok, making it a great value for money. A link to purchase these tickets will be found down in the description below. And as these are sacred and ceremonial sites, visitors have to dress modestly, which means your shoulders and legs have to be covered. No tank top, shorts, or revealing attire, as you'll be turned away from the gate. After spending the morning exploring, get fueled up for the afternoon by grabbing some lunch at one of the many street food vendors located near the temple. A great tip for when deciding on what stall to eat at would be to pick one that's busy or where you see the locals eating, as you know the food here will be fresh and delicious. Grab a bowl of pad thai or som tam for a more healthy option. This will cost you between 50 to 80 baht, or $1.50 to $2.40. A short walk from the temple is Wat Pho, officially known as Wat Pho. Yeah, you know what, I'm not even going to try that. But it is called Wat Pho. Now, this is one of the most renowned Buddhist temples in Bangkok and is commonly referred to as the Temple of the Reclining Buddha. The origin dates back to the Ayutthaya Kingdom era. This was before Bangkok became the capital of Thailand. The famous Buddha is approximately 46 meters in length and 15 meters in height, making it one of the largest Buddha statues in all of Thailand. Believe me, you cannot miss this. The central location to both Wat Pho and the Grand Palace make them easily accessible by either a scooter, taxi, or public transport. A fee of 200 baht, or $6, will be collected at the entrance of the grounds. Similar to the first temple of the day, remember, dress modestly. Spend the early hours of the afternoon exploring all around the surrounding grounds that the temple has to offer, before heading off to your third and final temple of the day. From Ta Tian Pier, take the Cross River Ferry directly to Wat Arun, costing just 5 baht, 15 cents. Wow, this ferry is a perfect and inexpensive way to cross over the river and into the other side of Bangkok. This is one of the most visually striking landmarks in all of Bangkok, and it's located on the west bank of the Chao Phraya River. It's also dating back to the Ayutthaya Kingdom era of Thailand, and this temple has stood the test of time. It's been continuously restored to maintain its intricate decorations. It's worth seeing. The main prang stands approximately 70 to 80 meters high, which makes it a dominant feature of the river skyline. The name of this stunning temple is associated with the Aruna, the charioteer of the Hindu sun god Surya, and is frequently used in Thai imagery, including coins, postcards, and tourism campaigns that make it a national icon. Again, entrance to the temple is budget-friendly, only costing 100 baht, or $3. Be sure to climb part of the steep steps for scenic views of the Chao Phraya River, with some of the sun starting to set in the background. This is the perfect location to snap up a couple of pics of Bangkok from a height. For your first evening in the capital, head toward Yaowarat, also known as Chinatown. Jump back onto the ferry to head across the river or catch a local bus. Prices for the bus can vary between 5 and 15 baht. I think you could spare it. Now, once arriving, choose from one of the many local street vendors that this area has to offer. Check out different stalls before deciding on one, as you might find a better bargain, and it's advised to always stick to vendors with prices shown on display so you avoid overpaying. An evening meal should cost between 60 to 100 baht, or $2 to $3. Spend the rest of the night exploring Chinatown's neon-lit streets, or if your feet are all worn out after a busy first day, just do what I do. Go to a local bar that serves up some of the local Thai beer and sit back and reflect on your first day in Thailand. Cheers! Now let's talk about how to travel Bangkok. The most fun way to travel around Bangkok is via a scooter. These offer great flexibility and affordability while on your trip, and they can be rented out from numerous outlets, including local shops, hotels, even roadside kiosks. Daily rental rates usually range from about 300 to 500 baht, or $5 to $15 a day, depending on the model and time of the year. To rent out a scooter, a valid driver's license is required, and before leaving, be sure to check and see if the rental company includes insurance. Many rental companies also require a deposit, and it's advised to inspect the scooter thoroughly for any existing damage before signing any documents. A helmet's required to be worn at all times while you're on the scooter. Taxis and ride-hailing apps such as Grab are other ways to get around. They provide a hassle-free service, but fares can add up to a costly amount if used frequently, or at least more costly than your normal scooter or bus. Now, speaking of buses, they're also a great budget-friendly option for roaming the city, but these operate on a fixed route and can get pretty crowded, which can make the journey a bit unpleasant at times. Average bus journeys should cost about 8 baht or 20 cents. Ferries across the rivers are also super cheap, and it's a good way to travel from one side to another. Fares are only running about 5 baht, a couple cents. Now, most temples are within walking distance of each other, so traveling around Bangkok really shouldn't cost you too much. Let's get on to day 2. Start day 2 off like a true local with breakfast from one of the many local street food vendors located all over the streets of Bangkok. Grab one of the Thai omelets over rice, or as the locals call it, kai jiao. Most street vendors will have the prices and pictures of the different dishes that they sell, so you can always get a visual of what to expect before you order. Breakfast should cost around 30 to 50 baht, or $1 to $1.50. Now, depending on which day you find yourself in Bangkok, you might have 2 options on how to spend your morning. If you're lucky enough to be here on a weekend, then head to the Chatuchak Weekend Market. This is one of the largest and most vibrant open-air markets in the world. Covering an area of about 35 acres, the market's home to over 8,000 individual stalls, attracting typically over 2,000 visitors every weekend. Now, with a market this large, it can get a little confusing on how to navigate around, so be sure to grab one of the free maps at the information booth. It's advised also to bring cash to the market, as most vendors don't accept cards, and it's also best to bring small denominations of bills to make it easier. A large part of the culture in these markets is bargaining on the prices of the items, so don't feel rude trying to negotiate a better price. If you find yourself visiting the city in the week, then go ahead and take a stroll around Lumpini Park, which is a great alternative. Entrance to both the park and market are free, which makes it a perfect way to stay in line with your budget-friendly trip, as long as you don't go too crazy spending at the market. Lumpini Park is Bangkok's largest public park and a green oasis in the city. Perfect for a leisurely stroll, light jogging, or to watch locals doing their morning exercises. You might even catch free aerobics classes, which run between 7 to 8 a.m. in the park grounds. For lunch, head to the MBK Center Food Court, where you can expect to find a variety of fresh different Thai dishes cooked in front of your eyes for about 80 baht, or $2. After lunch, browse around the MBK Center, where you're going to find different stalls selling all sorts, from electronics to clothing, all for extremely cheap prices. Just across from here is Siam Square, where you'll be able to find a mix of small boutiques, trendy clothing shops, and local designer pop-ups for more of a premium price. Spend the rest of the afternoon with a visit to Jim Thompson's house, now a historic museum. This was once the home of the American entrepreneur and art collector Jim Thompson, famed for his efforts in reviving the Thai silk industry in the mid-20th century. He established the Thai Silk Company in 1948, helping to introduce vibrant Thai silks to international markets, including fashion houses and luxury retailers. For this, his home remained a cherished site for those interested in his story and his substantial art collection. His house is only located a short walk away from the MBK Center, which makes it a great spot to spend the afternoon. It's open from the hours of 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., and there's a small 200 baht or $6 entry fee, but this also includes a guided tour in either English or Thai. Now, for the evening, head to arguably the most famous road in Bangkok, Khao San Road. Now, from the Siam area, you can take a public bus like the number 15 or 47 for about 15 baht, or you can hop onto one of the many tuk-tuks that you'll see driving around the city, but always agree on a fixed price before setting off on a journey to avoid being overcharged. This road, like any in Bangkok, has plenty of street food vendors all serving fresh local dishes like pad thai, green curry, and stir-fries, but be aware that this area is more of a tourist trap, so be sure to check different stalls for the best prices. There are many different ways to spend your evening on this famous street. You can either watch one of the many street performances that take place in the evening, or just simply sit and people watch, as there are many interesting sights to behold around this time of the night. Believe me, if you feel like letting your hair down for the evening, then hop into one of the many bars and clubs dotted along the street. Local beers cost about 70 baht. That's a good price. Cocktails will run you a little bit more, with prices between 120 to 150 baht. But, I mean, come on, with some of the other cities we've talked about, think Paris, London, Los Angeles, it can get really expensive elsewhere. Here in Thailand, it's a great price. So if you're planning on a night out, though, be sure to budget the amount that you want to spend before you start drinking and avoid going over. There are also plenty of stalls selling different desserts and fresh fruit for about $1.50. Now let's talk airports. Bangkok is served by 2 main international airports, Suvarnabhumi Airport, or BKK, and Don Muang International Airport, which is also known as DMK. Now, BKK is the primary hub for most long-haul flights, whereas DMK is known for its budget airlines and regional routes. For BKK, the Airport Rail Link City Line connects the airport and central Bangkok together, with prices for this costing about 45 baht, or $1.30. Taxis and ride shares are also available, but prices for those services will be a little more expensive. The buses and shuttles also cover various parts of the city, but for ease and to keep it as budget-friendly as possible, the airport rail link is the best option. If you flew into DMK, then you're also going to have similar options on how to travel into the city. Trains from the airport normally serve the northern provinces, so buses and taxis are going to be your best option. There's also a free shuttle bus service for passengers with valid flight tickets if you need to travel between the two airports. Travel time can vary from 45 minutes to an hour, depending on the traffic. So be sure to give yourself ample time if connecting. The best time of the year to visit Bangkok would be the months of November through February, as this is the dry season in Thailand. The days around this time of year consist of pleasant sunny days and low humidity and minimal amounts of rain. But it's worth bearing in mind that this is also the busiest time of the year, so expect larger crowds and accommodation prices to be a little higher. March and April offer similar weather as it's still relatively dry, but the temperatures do start to rise, which makes it a bit hotter, but the crowds aren't as busy, which makes it a better time to travel on a budget as accommodation and activities are a bit cheaper. Bangkok has plenty of great budget-friendly hotels and hostels, which makes it easy enough to find somewhere to stay. If you're traveling solo or with a friend, then spending a night or two in a hostel is a great way to make new friends and interact with new people. A link to Hostelworld will be left in the description below if you want to book a stay in one of the many hostels that this great city has to offer. Now, on to day 3. For your third and final day of the capital city of Thailand, grab a quick bite to eat from one of the local street food vendors again. Either try something new like a Thai-styled iced coffee and a pastry, or opt for something that you've already had before. Whatever you like. As you fueled up for the day, head to Sapham Bua Chang Pier and ride the canal boat west toward Wat Saket. Bangkok is often called the Venice of the East for its intricate network of canals that once formed the main transportation routes across the city. These canals offer a glimpse of what traditional life used to look like along the waterways of Bangkok. These boats can be busy during rush hour as lots of locals use these to commute to and from work, so it's advised to arrive early to beat the crowds. Fares usually run around 50 cents and will be collected when you get on board. Enjoy the views of Bangkok from the waterways as you glide on down the river. Disembark on the canal boat near Pamphai Lillard Pier and take a short walk to Wat Saket. Now once you arrive at the temple, you'll have to pay a 50 baht entrance fee that will be collected at the gate. Climb the 344 steps up to the Golden Mount for a panoramic view of the old city, giving you the perfect opportunity to snap up more pics. For lunch, find one of the local eateries selling dishes like pad thai or stir-fried noodles. Look for places displaying khao rad gang, as these vendors offer different options of curries, all served over a bed of rice for about 50 baht, or $1.50. Now, from here, spend the rest of the early afternoon exploring the Old Town, as there's plenty to see. Whether it be museum hopping around all of the inexpensive museums that this area has to offer, or just taking a trip down to Soiban Batra, which is a small alley where artisans still handcraft monks' alms bowls. Strolling here is free and offers a glimpse of traditional craftsmanship that's still being displayed in this part of the world. After you've strolled around the streets, it wouldn't be a trip to Thailand without experiencing a traditional massage. There are plenty of massage shops located around the Old Town area, so be sure to find one that has prices on display and confirm the price before agreeing to a massage to avoid being overcharged. Prices range between 100 to 200 baht for a 1-hour massage, so they're really cheap and well worth it. If you're looking for a free alternative, though, don't worry. The Pak Klong Talat local flower market is a great alternative. For your final evening in Bangkok, take a river taxi down to the Saphan Taksin Pier, also known as the Central Pier. Then catch the free Asiatique shuttle boat down to the waterfront. Here you'll find a large open-air complex along the river, filled with shops, restaurants, and a boardwalk that offers great views of the river. Food in this area can be a little more pricey than the street vendors, so be wary of the prices before you order. But if you want to keep your spending super minimal, then have an evening meal in the Old Town before making a journey across the waterfront. Then when you arrive over here, just enjoy a dessert, like a mango sticky rice for about 60 baht, which is $1.50. Now, spend the evening window shopping or enjoying the many free shows and street performances that this area of the city has to offer. Consider a ride on the famous Bangkok Ferris wheel before heading back to your accommodation for one final time in Southeast Asia. Or just get ready for another adventure traveling this part of the world. And if you want to see how to travel to more locations in Thailand, then click the video on the screen now. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.